Notice how you've played the devil's advocate for the state, for the subnational on this issue. I mean, you have not disguised that interest. I'd like, in wrapping up our conversation, I'd like for us to talk about something else that I think is quite germane. And this is drawing from the MOU that we've signed with France, for instance, you know, and yes. Now I see that mining is not just an economic or not just for economic or social impact. It has what is now considered today as geopolitical significance. And of course, when I just talked, when I referenced Nigeria's MOU with France. So as we know, both countries have agreed to collaborate on research, on training, and Franco-Nigerian students exchange for knowledge and skills transfer. Yes, we need further technical and financial capacity development and support in the sector. And yes, again, the bigger players would help local players here in Nigeria learn how big mining is done and, you know, what the game is at that stage. But is that necessarily the best option to opening up an international mining corridor that allows smaller miners in Nigeria to operate at the level of big players, you know, with access to the international markets and knowledgeable enough to understand the game? Is that our best option, Prof?
I think this country has enough, the right manpower. Some of us have been out of this country, impacting knowledge.
Because, Prof, I wanted to say this is the scenario that is currently playing out in our oil and gas sector, where players who learned from the bigger ones are now in charge.
Yes. So what I'm saying is that, what I want to say is that, yes, it's fine to have a collaboration, to have agreements, multinational agreements signed up between presidents and what have you. But we must bring it down to earth and say, where and how does it fit in? Provided, you notice France, for example, they are being kicked away from Niger, Chad, and so on, where they were in total control of the uranium mines and so on. And then I do hope that it's not the same type of support that given to Nigeria, where you pay back by now establishing a monopoly of the assets of this country. It will not be good for us. They can, after all, we've always had foreign aids, we have always had the Commonwealth, we have always had all that. It has never become like an MOU for a sector where you virtually transfer control of the sector. Go and read that MOU very well. You find out that one way or the other, all we're saying is that we're transferring the entire contents of this sector to France. Little wonder, people started even saying that we now have French military bases in Nigeria.
Well, the ministry has clarified that area, and even the government has said no such thing is happening, that what is happening is just, you know, knowledge exchange and, you know, some of the issues that I ruled out earlier, Prof.
Yes. But we have to be careful.
Indeed.
Let's build from home. We have already trained enough. Let the people who have trained. So what I'm saying is, we must not, all these jamboree of MOUs have been signed. As I said, all the MOUs have been signed in the past by this country, by Nigeria. To what extent has this changed the different sectors for which those MOUs were signed? Hopefully
we begin to see the change that we envision and envisage with some of them, Prof. If, like you said,
we're all still here. I will all still be here we'll all still be here to mark the score sheet, to give the score sheets, and say yes, it was okay. And all I want to say is that this country is blessed. We're endowed with human resources. We're endowed with whatever it is. Go outside Nigeria. Nigerians go from Nigeria as on offshore postings in the petroleum industry. They support the petroleum industry in India. I had a brother who was estimating India, goes from Halliburton to India to work and so on. And then we don't need anybody to come to educate us. What you can do is to come work with us. There must be parity, equality, parity. Not to tell me now that you're bringing me knowledge, R&D. Yes, a lot of us have been traveling in and out of Nigeria to study. I did my PhD.